Hello everybody, how are we doing today? So you guys sat through 2 of my part 4 segment on how to play cyberdragons. Hopefully you guys are learning something for them. For those of you who are watching, we're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, so that is awesome. Thank you everybody for all you do. You keep us going and motivated. And as our way to give back, a lot of you have asked, machine dupe, cyberdragons go hand in hand, or at least they did. Some of us decided to break that connection, but you guys kept asking, if I played machine dupe, what would my deck look like? And we are going to cover that in detail today. So right before we get into that, our group, Nerd Night Gaming, if you haven't already heard, which would mean you're not watching any of our videos, but if you have not already heard, Nerd Night Gaming, link down below, lots of really fun tournaments. We actually put one up for our Ultimate Rare Overload Fusion. The card's getting harder to find and the price has been going up steadily, so make sure you come join the group if you want to play for that. And we also have some Ultimate Rare machine duplications that we can put up if the interest is there. Pot of Extravagance is filling up very fast. I think there's only 6 spots left. 10 of them are already full. So come join the fun, guys. And without further ado, let's get on to cyberdragons with machine dupe. Feels weird just saying that. You guys saw the little teaser video in the beginning, so hopefully you enjoyed that. We will have more replays coming. I will show a couple quick combos at the end of this deck profile, but like we said, the rest of the videos and replays, we do have a handful, but I don't want this video to go 15, 20, 30 minutes, so I'd rather have a 10-minute replay video where you guys can see how we play through disruption, how we break boards, how we play through hand traps. It's not just going to be OTKs versus open boards. Anyone can do that. No one cares to see that anymore. So without further ado, 3 cyberdragon. We're playing machine dupe. You have to play 3 cyberdragon. Well, you don't have to, but you definitely should, or you're missing out and you're just making the deck worse in general. If you're playing dupe, play 3 cyberdragon. 3 cyberdragon core, pretty standard, normal summon, does everything. 3 hurts, best extender in the deck. 3 cyberdragon Naxter because, well, it's a dupe, or sorry, 3. Yeah, we're not playing 3 despite being a dupe target, because I just feel like that's not a good enough reason to play 3, because we're playing 11 dupe targets, not counting if you're able to get your repair plan off right away. So 11 dupe targets, odds are you'll see one. We don't need the 12th one. The percentage that you'll see it from 11 to 12 is marginal at best, and I feel like the 2 Naxter is a better number. Great for the grind game. 1 cyberdragon Fear. So everyone says Fear conflicts with dupe. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. I don't know how else to put this. If you open dupe, you don't want them to negate your dupe. You want them to negate your core. So summon your core, let them negate it, then machine dupe. Summon 2 cyberdragons, chain Fear. Chain Fear to the cyberdragons, not core. Fear to cyberdragons, not core. So we're playing machine dupe and we don't have, you can see the extra deck, we're not playing like big wombo bombo combo. We don't have the scrap engine in there. We're not playing cyber orcust. We're not playing anything crazy like that. So 2 galaxy soldiers is plenty. Cut the 3rd for our 2nd Jizukiru. I'm still a big proponent of 2 kaijus. Can't talk either. The card comes up a ton. It's a very strong card. Just free out to anything, and we have multiple ways to remove it, so that's kind of good. 3 Cyframe Gear Gamma, 1 Driver, because in my opinion, for a going second deck, it is arguably the best hand trap. Negating and destroying is very, very strong. It does not get around chain blocks, but that's not really a super important part of the game at the exact moment. Most decks do have a choke point that if you Gamma them, you're in a very good position. 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, because, well, this deck is, despite being recorded slightly before, this is post Battle of Legends, which means Numeron, and I feel like Ogre just hits that really, really well because you can hit the field spell, and say versus Synchro combo decks, you just hit Needle Fiber still, Halqifibrax, and they can't go into their Link Cross plays, or they need to get out more monsters in order to even go into an Auroradon, or really anything at all. So it doesn't negate the Fibrax, but it does remove it from the field, which is a pretty significant hit among just a plethora of other good options for it. Ash Blossom still generic, still hits basically every deck to some degree, so we're playing it 2 copies. We have 11 hand traps mained, and of those 11 we went with 2 Ash because, well, it does not hit Numeron whatsoever, because they send the field spell sends for cost, so you cannot Ash it, but it's still just a good hand trap to have. 3 Cyber Emergency, duh. 1 Repair Plant, we don't necessarily need it, and the deck already, I know you guys aren't going to like hearing it, but the deck does lose some of its consistency. We don't want to put the other Repair Plant in there, which in no dupe builds it actually helps the consistency go up, but with dupe it can hurt because now you have hands where you have too many spells, where you just have cards that you can't activate together. Your odds of not opening, if you play 3 Naxter, by the way, so 12 targets, 3 OGs, 3 dupe, your odds of either opening 2 OGs or no dupe target is 20%, so that's pretty high. So that's another reason we're playing just the 1 Repair Plant, because it's just another card that needs a little bit of setup. 9 times out of 10 you're going to have it, but that 10th time is going to come back and get you at some point or another. 1 Cyber Rev System, 1 Cyber Load Fusion, and 2 Overloads. We're playing pretty aggressive. We're going for the win. We want to stun them with a hand trap or 2 and then just vomit out our combo and win the game this turn. We are very focused on the OTK here, but we'll show you a couple things you can do, especially forced first game 1. Some side cards I do like for going first. Not saying to side all these, but Crackdown is really slept on right now. Cards broken. Vanity's Fiend is another really good one that we can make pretty easily thanks to Galaxy Soldier and Naxter. Just a couple options that you guys have. Heat Wave's another good one, obviously. So just some things to think about if you're trying to go first. 3 Machine Dupe, we're playing dupe. You're going to play 3. 1 Overflow, because we're definitely focused way more on going second for this build, despite the fact that dupe really helps push going first more than it actually helps going second. But we're focused heavily on going second winning. So 1 Overflow, we're not really planning on the grind game, so 2 doesn't come up nearly as often. And then 3 Impermanence. So unless they open really good and can remove their Zexal to dodge the Impermanence, our Gamma, Imperm, and Ogre all stop Numeron. So that's a good thing. Where are we at now? 2 Mega Fleet for the extra deck. I still am a big advocate for 2 Mega Fleets. I think it's still very relevant. Lots of decks link, Dragon Link, the FTK, especially if you stop the FTK, they're still playing Dragon Link. You're going to need at least 1 Mega Fleet. I like also having 1 to possibly Mega Fleet myself for a handful of plays. And then we have 1 Fortress Dragon. Consider playing 2 because the 2 Kaijus, just the way things are going, we opted not to. With Dragma coming, this list will most likely change a whole lot, so keep that in mind. 2 Rampage, we're playing 3 Fusion spells. And anytime we play 3 Fusion spells, you want to have at least 2 targets. If you only play the 2, you can absolutely get away with 1 Rampage, but since we're playing 3, we are going with the 2. 1 Makaba. Why Makaba? So in the no dupe builds, I'm not as big of a fan necessarily, but especially here because with dupe, a lot of the time you can make like get to your Nova, your Infinity, whatever, without actually using your Hertz because you have dupe. So you didn't use your Hertz effect. And now if they like Nibiru you or Nibiru chain like Imperm after you have Infinity, I guess that one wouldn't matter because Nova's already gone. But if they Nibiru you when you're at your Nova, you can bring out your Makaba, and if you have a way to still special summon your Naxter, you can go and make your Infinity. So then you can end with a Makaba and an Infinity. I believe, I don't remember exactly which variant it is, but I do have a replay where something along those lines happened and we get out Makaba Infinity. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not already and want to see it. Just another way for us to get multiple negates out through disruption. One Constellar Pleiades, because you're going to see at the end of this video, Core Dupe Extender can make like IP Masquerena, Pleiades Infinity. Pleiades could also be a Lambda if you happen to open Gamma, meaning Core Dupe Extender, you're going to have a negate and destroy, bounce to hand, and then 2 into a unicorn to where you can spin a card back to the deck, possibly with an overflow. If you have overflow, that's good game versus most decks. Without the overflow, you're still in it if you can time things out and they don't just happen to open the perfect card to out you. 1 Almirage, 1 Seeger, 1 Verde, that's all pretty standard for Cyberdragons. And then like I mentioned, playing Psyframes, so we have our Lambda. You may have noticed we're not playing a Synchro, and kind of came down to I'd just link them off into like a Masquerena or go for Unicorn or Verde, just using them as link fodder instead because they're not necessarily needed. They're still good, but you could absolutely play, like when I do play one, I like either Omega because helping going first with ripping a card, or Berserker the Tenyi because it helps push for game and banishing a card when it activates its effect if it's a monster. Pretty good. It doesn't negate it, but just banishing it is really strong still because a lot of decks need their cards on board. So, and then the Masquerena and the Unicorn for the combo. So we'll show you guys that now, I guess, and then have a good one. So as you can see here, we did open our Gamma, so we're going to go for a Lambda, but I'll show you guys where you could make Infinity, or not Infinity, Pleiades instead. Sucks that we have our driver in hand as well, but that's just something we're going to have to kind of take on the head. So using our emergency, bait out a hand trap. If they hit it, now you search your overflow off your core. Simple as that. Core. Since we have our Hertz and our machine dupe, we want our repair plant. Going into our machine duplication on our core to summon 2 Cyberdragons. Now we're going to go ahead and go into our Masquerena. If you happen to have your soldier and search out your emergency instead, you could absolutely make Infinity first, but we need to get Cyberdragons in the graveyard for our repair plant. And you can't use your Almirage for IP Masquerena, so before people mention that, you need non-link monsters, so that's the other reason why we did not do that there. So now, since we opened our driver though, that does open up one good thing for you that you'll see right here. So now we can use our soldier and our Hertz. Since we have a free discard with a light monster, we're going to grab our core for our follow-up play. And then Galaxy Soldier. So now we're going to have our Gamma still to negate because it can summon driver from the graveyard. But we have our core as a follow-up in our hand. Additionally, too, Overload Fusion is a great extender in this regard, but just make sure you use the Rampage to make your Nova, not because Pleiades needs light monsters. This hand wouldn't matter since we're going into Lambda, but keep that in mind too. Don't be afraid to use an Overload Fusion as an extender to go into your plays. So right here we can make Pleiades, or we're going to do this. We're going to go into our Lambda. So now when we go to negate something, we have Gamma in hand, summon driver from the graveyard, and then we can use driver and Masquerena to go into our Unicorn, which yes, we would at that point lose our core, but that's just kind of something you have to judge. If your 2 negates is going to be enough and you can stop them, keep your core. If you need that extra one, go into your Unicorn, pitch your core, and do it that way. But using driver and Masquerena to go into Unicorn, only your Gamma gets banished. Driver will once again be in the graveyard, so if you happen to top deck into another Gamma and you go to do something, you can Gamma them once again and keep it live. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you subscribed if you're not already. We have the important one, part 3, coming very soon now, the combos. So take care, guys.